Welcome to Lil John's Yarns. Today we're going to be doing the updated version of the Messy Bun Hat. So don't forget to subscribe and like this video. We'll hop into the tutorial. Hello everybody. Today we're going to be using a 5.5mm crochet hook and some worsted weight yarn. The yarn I'm using now is Caron 1 pound. We're going to begin by making a slip knot and completing a chain of 30. Make sure you chain loosely. I'll meet you at the completion of your 30 stitches. We have completed our 30 stitches and we are going to slip stitch to join into the very first chain stitch. Chain 2. 1, 2. This does not count as a double crochet. We're going to double crochet into the same space and double crochet in each stitch around. You should have 30 double crochets at the completion of this row. I'll meet you at the other side. We've made it back around. Whoops, let me zoom in a little bit. And we're going to slip stitch to join into the top of the first double crochet. We're going to chain 2. 1, 2. This part can be a little bit tricky, so I need you to pay attention very closely. So we're going to front post double crochet into the first DC. Not the chain 2 right here, but the DC. Front post. And now we're going to place 2 double crochets into this stitch right here in this space. 1, 2. Now it's almost like we're skipping this stitch. We're going to put your next front post double crochet here because this is the stitch that we're working into. So yarn over, front post, that's when you go behind it and push your double crochet forward. That's 1 front post double crochet. Now we're going to place 2 double crochets into this next stitch. It will be considered this one, but it's this space here. So 1, 2. We're going to repeat this sequence around. I'll show you a few more times. So now we're going to work a front post double crochet into this stitch because technically this stitch right here was already worked into. So front post double crochet, followed by 2 front posts in this space right next to it because it would be considered this stitch. So 1, 2. Now front post double crochet, not into this stitch, but the one over here. Front post double crochet. I know this can be a little bit tricky on the eye. And now we're putting 2 regular double crochets into this space. 1, 2. It almost appears like you're skipping a stitch, but you're actually not. So your front post double crochet would now be in this stitch here. And place 2 more regular double crochets in the space next to it. 1, 2. Repeat this sequence all the way around and I'll meet you at the other side. We've made it back around and we'll do our last stitch together. We'll do our front post into the DC, pushing the stitch forward, completing your double crochet. And we're going to put 2 double crochets in the space here. 1 and 2. If you did it correctly, you should have 45 stitches all the way around. I need to pull out some yarn. Okay, now we're going to slip stitch to join into the very first double crochet. This row sequence we're going to repeat for a total of 10 times. So we're going to chain 2. Well, 10 times I mean for 10 rows. Chain 2, 1, 2, front post into the previous front post. You can tell because the stitch is poking out. And double crochet. Now next to it, we're going to place 3 double crochet into the same space. It's right next to the front post. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Next, we're going to front post again in the previous front post. You can tell because the stitch is poking out more. So front post, so it's like you're skipping all these stitches, and front posting right here. Is my camera zooming in correctly? Sorry if it's blurry. Now place 3 double crochets in a space right next to it. 1, 2, and 3. I'll show you again. Front post in the previous front post. You'll be able to tell because the stitch is poking out more. So it's like you're skipping these. Front post here. Place 3 double crochets into the space next to it. 1, 2, and oops, lost my stitch, and 3. We're going to repeat this sequence all the way around. We're going to do this, including this row, for a total of 10 rows. I'll meet you at the completion of this row. We've completed our 10th row. As you can see, from doing these stitches, everything began to turn and spiral a little bit. So we're going to slip stitch to join into the very first front post double crochet. We're going to chain 2, 1, 2. We're going to double crochet into the same space and double crochet in each stitch around. I'll meet you at the completion of this row. We've made it back around, and we're going to slip stitch in the top of the very first double crochet. This next sequence we're going to repeat for 2 rows. So chain 2. We're going to do a front post double crochet. So we're pushing the stitch out, front post, double crochet. We're going to front post double crochet in each stitch around. Front post, double crochet. This will give the brim of the hat a nice stretchy elastic feel to it. Front post. Alright, complete your front post double crochet all the way around for a total of 2 rows, and I'll meet you at the end. We've made it back around, and we are just going to slip stitch to join to the very first front post double crochet. And all you need to do is weave in your ends and fasten off your work, and your hat is all done. If you guys want to see more hats like this, don't forget to subscribe. Also, click on the notification bell so you can be up to date on all my new tutorials. I'll see you guys on the very next video. Bye.